bago mag-start yung broadcast natin, Rob, no, na yung Work Oster Force talaga, they want to play aggressively. Pero ngayon, napapansin ko,
earlier momentum parehas tong team na to. Sabihin na natin, it's an advantage for LPE since they have a 4 winning streak and they only lost to Blacklist International in the series Season 7.
Wow, so tingin mo, Rob, parang yun yung secret weapon. Kumbaga, nung after the loss, parang, sige, ilabas natin yung secret weapon natin. At effective! Nakikita natin na talagang hindi pa natatalo ang LPH dahil simula ng pagpasok ni Lord Hades dito.
Yes, totoo yan, TDZ. Pero ito pa, pwede mong i-add dito, no? Kung papansinin mo, yung banning dito ng Work Oster Force, Biggie, Natalia. This is something you wouldn't ban on a normal basis, pero kasi this is specific on Aura PH. We've all known sa kanila nag-originate ang Biggie strategy. Natalia was also been used by Greed onto a higher caliber type of gameplay. Pero since, kumbaga, itong team kasi na to, Aura PH, they have this kind of identity, no? Na gumagamit ng mga ganitong hero. How do you think ngayon, magpapaano to itong draft na to? Since Aura PH been winning games with this Cho, I would assume na itong Cho na to is JP's hero as a tank, and Hades is really doing well on a Granger.
Well, I completely agree, Rob, kasi nakita man natin yung debut dito ni Lord Hades, Granger kaagad.
Yes.
Kaya nakikita natin na nagta-transition yung mga Granger pick dahil doon kay Lord Hades. And also to answer your question, ang draft dito ng Work Oster Force is going for their comfort heroes ng Aura PH. Nakita man natin yung Diggy and also yung Natalia ni Greed. So it's all about comfort, removing all the comfort zone. Pilitin mo yung Aura PH na maglabas ng ibang laro or try to go for a different approach when it comes to team fight. At tingin ko yun din yung reason kung bakit yung first 3 picks dito ng Work Oster Force is a little bit more tago. Kumbaga, hindi gaanong dinalabas ng Work Oster Force yung gusto nilang playstyle, hiding the information against your enemy.
Exactly. And to add on ito, no, kung iisipin mo, yung picking dito ng Work Oster Force, this was actually mentioned during the panel nila Butters na hindi nalalayo yung mga heroes ng dalawang team na to. This Jawhead could potentially be a JP hero. Itong Lapu-Lapu na to, we've seen Benny Q use this one, and together with the Kagura na ginagamit din ni Greed.
Yeah, kung parang, ano yung parang double-sided sword yan eh. Kumbaga, yung mga players ng Aura PH, sige, gusto nyo gamitin yung mga comfort picks namin, alam namin kung paano counterin yan. Alam namin kung paano namin kontrolin yung laro ninyo. Pero Work Oster Force, I think this is really effective as well. Since Work Oster Force, sabi nga natin kanina na isa yung Work Oster Force sa mga teams na hyper-aggressive. Gusto nila lagi sumasulubsob. And looking at the picks here for Work Oster Force, meron silang static link with the Lapu-Lapu. Really good when it comes to team fights. And din yung napag-usapan natin kanina, hinahaluan nila ng unting team fight-oriented draft dito. And also playing aggressively with the Jawhead while controlling the jungle area of Aura PH.
Kung isipin mo, no, parehas Action Jackson yung team natin dito. Kasi with the Jawhead, alam natin yan in terms of rotation. Tapos, si JP, we've seen him move towards the whole map. Specifically, on the before pa lumabas yung unang-unang turtle, you'd see him on the bottom lane, kung may kailangan sa kumbaga, providing vision and information, yung isa sa pinaka-vital na role ni JP, if ever na yun yung kanyang gagamitin as that tank Cho. Pero madagdag ko lang since I've seen Barakino ngayon, during MPL Chillax, Work Oster First did mention na ang team na talagang gustong-gusto nilang mabawian or makalaban dito sa MPL Season 7 was actually Aura PH.
So talagang nandito, ito yung pagkakataon, tingin ko talaga prepared dito yung Work Oster Force. It's really good for our first series here. Siyempre, opening series natin talagang mainit. Magkakaroon ng pagkakataon na makarebanse. Kumbaga parang sa basketball, tol, yung RC namin na natalo namin ng first game, babawiin namin ngayon.
Oo, kasi saka kung iisipin mo, medyo matagal na din kasi, di ba? We had a Holy Week, we had a week na hindi pa nag-start because of course, ECQ. So, parang ang haba na nung panahon nung nag-start doon. That was week 1 and we are now on week number 4. So, ngayon, will it be the story dito, mga kaibigan? Will Work Oster First finally get a series win against Aura PH? And if they can do that, nasabi to kanina sa panel, pag nanalo sila ng series dito, sila ngayon ang magna-number 1 sa kanilang bracket.
Malaking bagay talaga ang series na to, mga kaibigan. At syempre nag-aabang din ng Work Oster Force. Bukod pa sa bawi, is yung puntos na kailangan nila para makaangat lalo sa ating point system. Pero Rob, nakikita natin dito, no? For Aura PH, dinanggal nila yung Lancelot and also the YSS. So you mentioned about vision earlier, especially with Jawhead and also the Cho, if JP we're going to use it. So basado na ng Aura PH to. Siyempre, kung sakaling preparado rin ng Work Oster Force, mas preparado rin ang Aura PH dito kasi ramdam nila yung giggle.
Not only that, no? they are actually banning yung mga, sabihin na natin, a little bit comfort heroes dito ni Chu. Pero kung iisipin mo kasi, Chu, parang ang lalim din ng hero pool niya. I was thinking dito, yung Banda Lancelot, yung Banda YSS, and looking at the bans, there's still an open which is the Claude or it's either Aura PH is willing to give it para kay Chu. What do you think about this Popol and Kupa? Nagkakaroon din ng mga, sabihin na natin, popularized na mga sa draft natin, and most of the time, more often than not, nananalo pag mayroong Popol and Kupa.
Well, kasi ang Popol and Kupa, bukod sa vision na kaya niya ibigay using the Popol Surprise, nandun yung kagat eh. Yung factor na,
yung
okay, yung ngart,
yung according kay Kuya Manjin Paldas.
Yung ngart niya, tol. Malaking opportunity pwedeng ibigay doon. Isipin mo sa first 3 picks dito ng Aura PH, meron silang Granger. Pag nangart-ngart, yung lahat ng balang Rhapsody, doon makakapasok ka agad. So magandang setup ka agad yun. And also, kumbaga, kung sakaling pumili dito, well, up against Joheda, pwede niyang maiba to si Kupa instead of Popol.
So like it's like a 50-50 pa, no? Kung magbabato ka, it's almost the same thinking din, no? With the Selena. So like what we said kanina, no? Chu has an option dito, the Claude. Itong hero na to, if I'm not mistaken, mga kaibigan, never lost a single game nung main qualifiers nila using this Claude. So, syempre, gagamitin nila yun. One of the comfort dito ni Chu, and nakita na natin yung Alice ni Kosei.
Yeah.
Okay? So, moving back dito naman sa Aura PH, what are they lacking ngayon dito, TDZ?
So, for Aura PH, tingin ko, kailangan nila dito ng mage dealer, ng magic dealer, and that's one of the reasons why yung Work Oster Forces na-remove yung Lunox and also the Eve. So, okay. Aura PH going for the Harith. So, makikipagsabayan dito ang Aura PH. Alam naman natin, Rob, na ang Harith, isa sa mga power spike niya is once he reaches level 4.
Indeed.
Isang Zaman Force lang, pwede niya matanggal lahat ng energy shields dito ng Aura PH and play based on the current playstyle, maraming slow, maraming opportunity to catch ang Aura PH dito. Kung sakaling makakuha ng momentum ang Work Oster Force, since sila ang mga hyper-aggressive teams talaga na sabi nga natin control ang laban dito for the first series.
Agree ako sa'yo dyan, and we've talked about yung kanina yung early aggression. Nung nakita ko na nilock on yung Harito, this only state that the Granger, the Cho, and the Popol and Kupa will be our trio. Or siguro, pasabihin na natin, Hades will just have to farm on the jungle, tapos yung Cho and yung Popol and Kupa, yung manggugulo, or rather magi-invade dito sa side ng Work Oster Force. So, ito na TDC. I'm really excited and thrilled na makita itong pinakaunang serye natin ngayong araw ng Sabado. Sino nga kaya ang magiging number 1 ng group number A? But before anything else, we would like to remind everyone that MPL Philippines Season 7 is under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusement Board.
Yeah, ito na tayo mga kaibigan. First game of the day. Sino nga ba ang mas mainit? Maaaganti ba ang Work Oster Force against Aura PH na talagang winning streak? Tol, 4 winning streak pa tong Aura PH. So, kumbaga sa usapang momentum, nandun na, nauna na kaagad ng Aura PH.
Oo, actually mainit din talagang pagpasok. And we've talked this earlier, no? Na fun fact lang mga kaibigan, we would like to share with you, nung nasa under Sunsport banner pa ang Aura, no, this squad, they only lost a single series din. And that was on execration during MPL Season 4. And they were about to, sabihin na natin mirror of what's been happening if they could get a win against Work Oster Force. Pero gaya na sabi mo kanina, TDZ, mainit dito ang Work Oster Force. Pero mukhang mas mainit kayo ng Aura dahil sila ang nag-i-invade. Sino makakuha ng first blood dito? Pero JB forced to get the flicker or use the flicker at hindi pa nila nakuha doon yung purple buff dito ng Work. Posible tong ma-reset. Pero ang ganda ng yung pag-hold on ng mga members dito ng Work, and that's bad news para sa Aura PH.
Ang ganda ng pagka-control, I completely agree. A little bit of a bad news since nakakuha agad ng tempo dito ang Work Oster Force. And sa RTZ, alam naman natin, isa sa mga aggressive mages, he's utilizing his flame shot perfectly. Talagang isa sa mga nakikita natin na ginawa niya before.
Yes, pinag-usapan natin yan. Pero look at that. Yung bala ni Hades was just enough to bring down that RTZ. Medyo may bawi naman dito ang Aura PH. And going back, speaking of the flame shot na sinabi mo, sabi nga nito, yan na nga raw yung the new retry. Pero may bago yata dito. Nagpapakita ngayon ng Work Oster Force. They're trying to defend. Dito ko nakilala yung Aura PH. Parang hindi silang basta-bastang kumukuha ng sarili nilang resources. They want to get what's yours and they try to defend what's theirs. Kumbaga, pino-force nila, rather, nag-i-invade talaga sila. Tapos, to the point na mas nakakalamang sila sa mga ganong scenario. Ng turtle fight dito, TDC, sino sa tingin mo ngayon ang mas makakalamang dito?
Mas nakapwesto agad ang Aura PH, mga kaibigan. Almost 4 heroes sa side ng Aura PH is nagko-convert sa may turtle area. Half HP. Work also force needs to do something at makontrol agad dito si Unravel sumasalubong.
Pero pinapasok sila dito. Zinazona sila ni JP. Na-secure naman ni Hades doon yung turtle. Pero kapalit ng buhay yun ng Cho. Chu managed to BMI out pero mukhang magbaback off na muna dito ang Aura PH. RTZ giving this greed or pamuntikan pa at kuha niya pa. Medyo nagkatansyahan pa yung dalawang mid heroes natin dito. And nung tumama yun, bumalik doon si RTZ and get a kill. So, parang tumablarang din kahit na nakuha doon ng Aura PH yung turtle na yun.
Nakapansin natin dito, Rob, sa net worth, saktong-sakto. Almost dikit pa rin ang net worth dito ng dalawang teams natin. I completely agree. Kahit lamang sa turtle take, nagkaroon ng unting experience dito ang Aura PH, but with that kill, para kay RTZ, na even out niya kaagad yon. And also keep in mind na 2-1-0 kaagad dito si RTZ. Kapag nakakuha siya ng Clock of Destiny as early as possible, mas makakita tayo ng high magic first. And he's already, meron na siyang talisman dito. And for sure, 430 gold na lang.
Pero alam mo, TDC, no? I would like to comment dito yung ginagawa ni Unravel. Bakit? Binabantayan niya yung mga jungle creeps nila dito para hindi ma-invade ng Aura PH. We've mentioned this earlier. Aura PH, mahilig silang manguha ng mga jungle ng kalaban kasi doon sila unti-unting nakakalamang on the game. Then potentially, they would take the turtle as well. Pero right at this series or this game, nababantayan ni Unravel dito yung invasion ng Aura PH. That's one of the reason bakit hindi rin nagiging malalim ngayon dito si JP.
Indeed, at mukhang sumasalubong dito si JP, nag-brush check, pero mukhang masasandwich nila si Unravel. Saktong-saktong pagkaka-flicker. Pero adding to what you mentioned earlier, Rob, battle of the economy ang nangyayari dito sa side ng Aura PH.
Exactly, and looks like Aura PH dito, mga kaibigan, slightly have the advantage. Not only that, sila din ang unang nakabasag ng Torre dito against Work Oster Force. But looking at the draft dito, TDC, sabihin na natin dito, itong si Chu with the Claude could potentially mas makakalamang on the late game. Pero mamaya na natin pag-usapan yan dahil may turtle fight na naman na magaganap. May ejector kay RTZ. Kaagura ang unang mawawala pero medyo malalim yata dito. Gustong pamalag-palag pa dito ng mga Aura PH. Greed is going in. Unravel will be taken down too for non-exchange dito. Mas lumamang ngayon dito ang Aura pero may kapalit yon. That's gonna be 3 more TZ. Pero TDZ, tingin ko mas lumamang pa rin doon ang Work Oster Force.
Well, looking at the current situation, since nawala na yung ating energy shields, marirefresh na ang HP ng ating mga turrets. But with that, that's a 3-4-0 exchange para sa side dito ng Aura PH. At mukhang hindi, ang ganda kasi ng pagkakasandwich nila dito, pagkakaspread out ng teamfight
Yes, na-mention ko kanina na lumamang doon sa certain teamfight na yon yung Work Oster Force, pero hindi pa rin humihinto yung pagkuha ng mga objective dito ng Aura PH. Work Oster Force could potentially be winning team fights, pero they're not winning the objectives.
Yun ang laro natin dito, mga kaibigan. Ang objective, nakita natin dito, Work, they're always prioritizing na wag ma-take down yung middle turret kasi most of the fights that is happening is within the mid lane area. So kapag nasusustain nyo yung mid lane turret nyo, makakakuha kayo ng damage reduction. But looking at this, nabuhay pa dito si Chu pero si JP.
Yun na nga, nabuhay pa si Chu pero si JP iba ang kanyang nasipa dahil nakatakas pa dun si Chu. Oh no! Medyo nagkaroon ng slight miscommunication doon with Aura PH and Benny Cutie getting killed by Chu. Pero sabi dito ng mga kupunan dito ng Aura PH, hayaan mo na yon, bawi na lang tayo dito sa gitna. And alam mo, TDZ, I would just like to mention with you, itong si Grido, kanyang Popol and Kupa is really giving a heart or a headache para sa mga members dito ng Work Oster Force.
Tama yun, pati nakahirapan dito si Unravel na ma-pick off or ma-ejector dito yung main hero which is si Popol. Pero mukhang nagkakaroon bakbakan dito, Lord Hades with the
pumapalag-palag pa siya dito, TDZ, pero tingin ko hindi na enough yon. Nasabi mo kanina dito, yung mga Rhapsody dito, ito naramdam na natin yung sakit, pero dito si Green, naibato siya dito sa gitna at may return kill naman dito ang Work Oster Force Killwash. Meanwhile, dito sa may bandang gitna, or rather sa may top lane, na pick off na naman si Benny Cutie, umalis sa baba, dun siya sa taas, pero ganun pa rin ang istorya, mga kaibigan. Ito, yung baba, basag na naman ng Torre. Kung iisipin mo rito, TDZ, Lord Hades, he doesn't really need the kills. He just want to take down all the turrets dito para sa side ng Work Oster Force. At ito pa, Kilowash, will he be able to be alive? Hindi enough yung kunat niya, sabi dito ni Kosei. Pero Greed, dilagay niya yung trap dito. Alam niya na sinusubukang invade ni Chu, pero disiplina lang for Work Oster Force. Wag natin pilitin yon. Pero meron pa silang pwedeng kunin objective dito, and that's gonna be the turtle. Pero alam yan, ng Aura PH, they would want to contest. Nakaposition dito si Greed. Umiikot na doon si JP. Now, who will be able to take it down? That's the biggest question. Even Lord Hades, nagpa-purple buff pa siya muna dito at mukhang umalis na muna sila kasi kalma muna dito, TDZ.
Kalma, pati nakita natin dito si Lord Hades, si Chu, kumukuha muna sila ng kanilang mga purple buffs at hindi available yung retribution, so it does take time. Pero simula nung nakita nila, okay, ready na ako, meron na akong purple buffs, sabi dito ni Lord Hades pati ni Chu, pwede tayo makapagpapakot.
Pero yun na nga, nag-unstoppable force storm, papasok si Unravel, pero ang nakakuha ng turtle, that's gonna be Chu once again. Pero may blazing duet, medyo masakit dahil si JP ang unang nawala. Dreamer TZ on a sliver of health, nakatakas pa siya doon mga kaibigan, pero sabi dito ni Very Cutie, ito na ang pagbangon ng api, pero that ejector just saves. Oh my God!
Tol, ang ganda ng ginawa nila doon. Alam mo kung bakit? Yung passive ni Kagura nag-proc dahil doon nahiwalay siya doon sa mismong payong, kaya nabuhay siya with that engagement. What a perfect ejector dito para kay Unravel.
Oh no! I really thought talaga, TDZ, na makukuha at mapapatay na siya doon. Ang ganda na ng entra ni Benny Cutie. Kumbaga, eto na ang pagbawi ko. Pero si Unravel, naka-ready siya. Binato niya yung tropa niya.
Wow, ang ganda ng execution dito. And also, that was a nice team fight para sa side ng Work Oster Force, pero nagko-converge sa bottom lane.
Dahil may sipang magaganap, na cancel na rin doon yung blazing duet ni Chu, pero sabi ni Trimar TC, ako nang bahala tol, itabi mo na. Pero nandito na yung Zaman Force, sino ang unang mawawala? That's gonna be Trimar TC. Habol ngayon dito ang mga members dito ng RMPH. Pero Makate, makunat at matigas dito ang robot ni Unravel. Habol pa sila. Greed trying to stay away. Nandito pa naman sila Popal and Koopa, pero ang unang nawala, that's gonna be Kilowash on a different time. Pero ngayon, Unravel together with Kagura dito mga kaibigan, going 2v2 sa mga members dito ng Aura PH. Hiwa-hiwala yung mga laban dito, TDZ. Wow! Grabe tong unang game na to ng series na to. Talagang dikit. Kung titignan mo sa gold, halos hindi nalalayo.
Hindi nalalayo at sinusubukan ding lumayo dito ng Work Oster Force from that play. Pero sinayawan ng Work Oster Force dito, RTZ and Unravel, the collection of this both members controlling the damage output of Aura PH. Especially yung kay Lord Hades, alam niya na nako-close na yung gap. Si Unravel, binadi-block niya. Sige tol, ako ang kukuha ng damage para sa Rhapsody. At sinayawan din with the Rasha Umbrella Flea dito ni RTZ. At kuwang-kuwa, makikita mo dito yung connection ng mga bawat teams. At sabihin ko sa'yo, Rob, kahit medyo lamang dito ang work when it comes to kills, pati sa net worth, even Steven pa rin ang draft dito and also execution ng Aura.
Steven nga talaga, pero look at this one. Sobrang confident na dito ni Unravel. Sinipa na siya ni JP. Naku, medyo wala yata siyang kasama dito. Dito yung Kagura with the yin-yang overturn. The damage will be enough. Pumasok na dito si RTZ, pero nawala na muna dito si Unravel. 2-man down para sa side ng Work Oster Force. Pero nandito na, respect na ang mga tropa. Sa likod si Kuzey dito, muntikan pa siyang mamatay kay Benny Cutie. At hiwa-hiwalay dito ang mga members ng Work Oster Force. Nandito na ang bida. Sabi nila magpapabugbog lang sa una dahil nandito na si Chu. Binababang muna nila dito ang mga members ng Aura PH. Double kill, triple kill. Na rin yung Torre dito. Pwede ba nila tapusin to, TDZ?
Saktong-saktong positioning dito ng Work Oster Force. Binate out ang nila. Sige tol, kayo muna mauna. Itabi mo na. At biglang pumasok si Chu dito with the bang. Huling-huli lahat ng miyembro ng Aura PH. And this instant replay is brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A94. Get yours now for only 13,999. Pero Rob, tinamot ang position niya dito with the Zaman Force slowing the rest of work. Pero with the mobility from Kosei, he is able to separate the rest of Aura PH. At kita naman dito, Aura nag-converge na dito. Trimmer DZ with his tankiness, and also Kosei going back to the fight, giving an opening for Chu to use his blazing duet, at mukhang nahuli nila kaagad with a slow from the Art of Thievery and also the Stun from the Blood, nakakuha sila ng magandang rest back.
Yes, I like that you pointed out. And yung isolation play na pinakita ng Work Oster Force na outmaneuver talaga nila dito ang Aura PH ngayon. Nasa kanila ang pinakaunang Lord. Will they be able to defend this one? Mukhang kaya pa naman TDC, pero fino-force ng Work Oster Force ang Torre dito sa gitna. Nabasag na ngayon ni Chu. Habol dito, pasok pa. Unstoppable Force na ngayon dito. Nako, nabawasan ng isang miyembro ngayon dito. JP taken down at may mga malalaki pa silang minion dito sa baba. Kaya pa bang dumepensa dito ng Aura PH? Mukhang hindi na yata TDC. Dahil baback away na sila. Medyo naghihirapan na silang dumepensa. Paano gagawin? Disable Force dito ni Very Cutie sa may bandang likod. Pero unang nawala dito si Green. But nakalock na ngayon sila dito sa base. And that's it. Work Oster Force getting game number 1.
This winning moment is brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with Oppo A94. Get yours now for only $13,999. Rob, nakita natin dito. Kung ako tatanungin mo kung sino MVP dito, Unravel. Ilang beses niyang ginawa yung flicker plus the ejector at yun yung mismong kailangan niyang i-focus si Cho.
Ang pinakamaganda pa doon, specifically before nakuha nila yung Lord, na-pick off si Unravel doon. Binibait out niya palagi si JB na sipain siya. Yes, nawala siya. That's gawin 4v5. Pero yung isolation play, kasi Dreamer TZ, RTC, they played and outmaneuvered the members dito ng Aura PH. At kahit late dumating si Chu, he came on the right time and the right moment.
Ibang klase talaga ang execution dito sa side ng dalawang teams natin. Init na init at mukhang yung will ng work dito is nakakuha sila kaagad ng isang puntos. Maganda sa pakiramdam. Isa na lang for that revenge against Aura PH. Pero Rob, sa akin talaga, ibang klase yung execution nila. Para silang isang utak lang na tao na 5 yung kumuha-control. Ganon ka-precise ang execution ng work.
Kumbaga yung chemistry talaga nila, pero you actually mentioned execution. Ngayon, atin dito alamin kung ano yung mga naging magandang ginawa ng Work Oster Force at maling nagawa ng Aura PH. Ating pakinggan si Midnight.
Last time they met, Work Oster Force won game number 1, and it is the same thing that is happening right now. Welcome to the Understand. My name is Midnight, and ating i-breakdown kung paano naging dominant ang Work Oster Force dun sa game na yon against Aura PH. Pero tignan muna natin yung ating post-game stats, hatid sa atin ng Smart, the official tournament logo partner of MPL. Free to game great with Smart, free games for all. Aura PH, they were cornered into a corner here. They were forced to pick a Harit last pick against the Claude and Alice duo of Work Oster Force. Ginawa nilang position 4 or support si Grid dito, no, on the Popol and Koopa. It could have worked, honestly, but the thing is, they had no poke damage in the early game. Although, pwede natin sabihin na poke damage naman si Popol and Koopa, the thing is, hindi siya tulad ni Kagura na nag-a-amplify yung damage as the game goes on. Work Oster Force essentially had superior late game here over Aura PH. Pero definitely, the timers were still present, no, for the side of Aura. Sabi nga ng panel natin kanina, Aura PH sila yung team na talagang sobrang galing tumingin ng mga timers. And they know when to hit that. The problem is, hindi sufficient kasi yung lineup nila against Work Oster Force. What Oster Force did is just split the map and just let the late game come with our farming. Ganda actually ng pinakita sa atin ng Work Oster Force. Ito, yung signature playstyle nila since the MPLS7 qualifiers. They split the map, they let the Claude farm. And even if sabihin natin na si Dreamer TZ dito ay namatay ng 4 times, these 4 deaths are actually very crucial kasi it gave the space for Work Oster Force to accumulate these items on the Claude. The DHS came in at 5 minutes and 36 seconds. After that, pinatay niya kagad si Benny Cutie, essentially stopping or putting a lid on the Harit late game of Aura PH. So again, very crucial na nakuha niya to ng 5 minute 36 seconds kasi na-amplify ng Work Oster Force yung timing nila. After taking down the Harit, sila na yung nagko-control ng momentum. And those are what are the crucial information here on the post-game stats. Pero bago tayo mag-proceed sa ating mga highlights, tignan muna natin yung ating mga rewards, no? Nanonood lang kayo pero pwede rin kayong manalo ng skin na worth 599 diamonds. All you need to do is scan this QR code or go to this website, fill up nyo yung form, and if you're one of the first 30,000 entries, no? Again, 30,000 entries yung mananalo ngayon ng 599 diamonds worth of skin. So magmadali na kayo, check nyo na yung website, scan nyo na yung QR code, at fill up nyo na kaagad yung form. Okay? Nag-enjoy na kayo sa ML, meron pa kayo mapapanalunan. Now, moving forward to the game highlights brought to us by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Free to game great with Smart, free games for all. Aura PH dito, they knew na, okay, medyo mahina yung early game ng Work All-Star Force. Let's try to fight it, pero it didn't work for them. Work All-Star Force actually had the answer against the choke. Again, this is the problem of a lineup na wala masyadong pang-poke. Although nakaka-disrupt si Popol and Koopa, they don't have the damage to take down the heroes on the side of Work All-Star Force. Walang pang-cleanup kumbaga. Pero RPH again, they know their timings. They understand na kapag na-hit na nila yung mga level 4 sila and nagkaroon na rin ng item, si Granger, they can actually take objectives. And napakaganda na pag-establish nila dito sa area na to. But the Work All-Star Force, they didn't really care that much. Kasi again, ang gusto nila mangyari is makapag-farm si Chu on the Claude. Now, Aura PH found some openings in this game against Work All-Star Force. Streamer TZ actually na-outplay siya ni JP doon. No? Literal na dinedelay yung mga crowd control para umabot yung Granger and mapatay si Lapu-Lapu. Pero syempre, isa ring outplay yung nangyayari dito mula kay Unravel, no? Yung mga ejector flicker niya. Yung literal na tinitiktokan si Grid dito, no? Kasi ginagawa niya, binabato niya at gagamitin niya yung flicker para ma-surprise si Grid para hindi makapag-react sa flicker. Now, Work All-Star Force, nung alam nila na, okay guys, timing na natin. Again, may DHS na, may golden stuff na rin yung Claude. Let's fight Aura PH. Kasi again, superior damage sila over Aura PH. Even though there's a Harith on the lineup of Aura PH, again, na-delay kasi sila. And at the same time, yung Harith versus Alice matchup, it will only matter if even or if lamang si Harith, no, pagdating sa late game. Kasi Work All-Star Force, they still have a lot of supply in terms of damage on the side of the Claude. Ito yung final team fight actually natin. On the opposite side of the map, nakikita natin to, di ba? May clash na nangyayari. Pero on the opposite side of the map, look at this. This is actually very important, no? Yung Uranus, papunta pa lang, pero hinarang siya ni Chu agad. Bago siya na makarating ng team fight, binawasan niya yung Uranus, even committing the Blazing Duet para lang ma-dissuade yung Uranus sumama sa team fight. And after that, sabi ni Claude, okay, wala na yung Uranus, bawas-bawasan na yung hero ng Aura PH, pwede na ako mag-clean up. And this is what ended Aura PH's game. After Claude showed up, nobody on the side of Aura PH can actually fight against it. Sobrang taba na ni Claude at this point in time. Kahit sabihin natin 2K gold lead yan, 2K gold lead lang on the side of Work All-Star Force, there's nobody on the side of Aura PH that can match the damage output of the Claude. And partida, na-nerf pa yung Claude, no? Siguro mas maaga siya umabot doon because of the 10% bonus na makukuha niya from the Art of TV stack kapag full stack siya. Kaso na-nerf kasi yan. Pero even then, the Claude was very, very powerful at that point in time. Kaya nalinis na lang ang Aura PH. And of course, the MVP of our game, brought to us by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of MPL. Break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game great with free games for all. Chew! On the Claude. Medyo throwback to, no, nung qualifiers. Alam na natin kung gaano kagaling mag-Claude itong player na to. Even against the series, even against Blacklist, no? Yung series na yun, nakita natin kung gaano ka-masterful si Chu on this hero. And this is just another showing for Aura PH na you have to respect the Claude of Chu. And that is what won them the game here for Work All-Star Force. Ang tanong is, makakabawi pa ba ang Aura? Will history repeat itself? And Aura PH getting a 2-0 against Work All-Star Force? Or will Work finally clinch the victory here against Aura PH? Casters, ano tingin nyo?
I like that Midnight pointed out na ito na ba, TDZ, ang Work All-Star Force, magagawa ba nila na maiba yung naging storya nila nung unang nagharap sila ng Aura PH. By the way guys, my name is Rob Luna. Kasama ko pa rin dito si TDZ, my analyst. Pero going back to the question, nung nagharap sila nung week number 1, nanalo ang Work All-Star Force on game 1 at na-comeback sweep yon ng Aura PH. Will it be the same this time? What do you think?
Merong pattern no? May tayo nakikita ang patterns para sa dalawang teams na to. Pero ang nasasabi ko dito, Rob, with that performance from Work, tingin ko dito, yung level of play dito ng Aura PH is medyo nasaktan sila ng malaki.
Yon ang pinakamaganda kung ano yung sakit na yon. But before anything else, who will make smart choices in the draft? Catch it next, brought to you by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free to game great with Smart, free games for all. Ngayon, TDZ, looking at the players ngayon dito ng Aura PH, medyo parang sabihin na natin uneasy. Parang inisip nila what could have happened during game number 1. Meanwhile, for Work All-Star Force mo, ang ganda ng charisma or rather ng aura doon sa kanilang mismong bootcamp. And by the way, mga kaibigan, gaya ng na-mention natin kanina, may mga strategy kasi din yung Aura PH. Mabalik lang natin nung week 1 na yon. Gumamit sila ng kakaibang crack with the high and dry ni Raflisha. the question is, TDC, ano kaya ang meron pa ditong na itatagong strategy ng Aura PH para ma-force nila tong game number 3?
Well, the reason why na naging effective dun yung Grok, going back sa first day natin, week 1, nung series nila with Work Oster Force versus Aura PH, naging effective kasi yung Grok nun with the high-end drive because of the knock-up. Kumbaga, si Chu, as far as I remembered, gumamit din siya ng Claude nung time na yon. And nakaka-cancel ka agad ni Grok yung kanyang Blazing Duet with a knock-up from the Wild Charge. Ito, nag-alanganin yung Aura PH itong series natin na to from game 1 kung ano yung magiging last pick nila. Kaya sila nag-harif. At least trying to slow down and control the farm of, at least getting that snowball factor going.
Yes.
Kaso, nangyari, nakapag-farm si Chu, and also with the connection from Kolsay on the top lane, dun sila nahirapan. Sige, okay lang. Control natin yung top lane habang gumagawa ng control dito si RTZ sa mid lane. Almost lahat ng lanes ng Work Oster Force is winnable. Talagang lahat kontrolado nila. So it's really all about control here for Work Oster Force. And Aura PH naman, looking at their strengths, Aura PH, they can go for a much more cheesy picks. Kasi yun yung napapansin ko eh.
Yeah.
Going from from Work Oster Force as stopping the streak of Work Oster Force, or at least getting that first punch sa Work Oster Force nung week 1 series, yun yung lamang nila. Kailangan nilang maglabas ng mga alas dito sa side
Ay,
ng
malaking
Aura PH.
tanong kung ano yung alas na yun eh, no?
Indeed.
Pero kung going back dito sa draft natin mga kaibigan, this is almost the same ban that Work Oster Force did have on game number 1. Pero they are really going in for a blue side, no? So, it's now Aura PH. Ang nagpahirap sa kanila kanina was Unravel on its Johead. Will he be able... Walang nabago for Work Oster Force. And we're... Of course, bakit mo nga naman babaguhin kung gumagana sa inyo?
Tama.
Aura PH, the biggest question is, willing ba silang ibigay ulit ang Johead dito sa Work Oster Force? What do you think, TDZ?
Tingin ko pwedeng ibigay ito ng Aura PH yung Johead. Pero delikado kasi nakita natin yung performance kanina ni Unravel. Tol, sinabi ko kanina, isa sa mga napansin ko, bukod dun sa flicker, ejector ni Unravel, yung pagbato niya kay Kagura, nag-proc yung yin yang gathering. Yung additional shield ni Kagura, kung bakit siya nabuhay doon. And with that, yung presence of mind ni Unravel, going for that play, hindi mo siya maiisip, going for a normal player, mga amateur players, mahirap siyang isipin na okay, meron nga palang ganung mechanic si Kagura at nagamit niyo yun at the nick of time.
Oo, yung pag-save niya kay RTZ. Pero ang hirap din para sa side ng Aura PH. Yes, pinahirapan tayo ni Unravel kanina, but we could probably make something out of it kasi hindi rin sila willing na i-open yung Benedetta. We all know, Work Oster Force has two of the most promising side laners natin dito. Either of the two, Dream RTZ and Kusei could be able to play this Benedetta. So, might as well, bigay na natin yung Johead, basa naman natin. Pero right this time, TDZ, Aura PH, hindi nila muna kinuha yung Granger and kinuha ngayon nila yung Kagura, which is Greed is a masterful on this hero. So, medyo nag-deny sila ng konti dito para sa side ng Work Oster Force.
Tama yun, Rob. At tingin ko dito, it's it's about stealing the comfort heroes sa side ng Work Oster Force. At nakita din ng Aura PH na okay, ito yung punto. Ito yung hero na nag-stump sa lane namin kaya nahirapan sila sa aggressiveness ng Aura PH. Diba napansin natin, lahat ng pressure ng Aura PH, lahat nasa mid lane.
I know.
Pero with the yin yang overturn combination from this Kagura, na-control sila agad, literal. Yung tali, nahahatak sila at medyo nahihirapan silang mag-engage kasi nandun yung umbrella, yung semi-umbrella. So with that umbrella presence talaga, ang laking kinontrol ng Work Oster Force from those team fight and also early skirmishes ng Aura.
Totoo yan. And going back, Lunox dito, we've seen this work naman for their, on their team. And given that itong Lancelot na to, nasabi ko, wow, ginamit niya to. And kung di ako nagkakamali, against Signal Ultra, I've seen Chu be able to cancel a lot of things. There was a time doon sa turtle fight na isang normal attack na lang siya, na dodge na with the Thorn Rose, tapos gumilid pa siya para hindi siya tamaan ng first kill nung Roger. And that is something masterful para sa isang hero dito for Chu, itong Lancelot na to. Pero dito naman sa Aura PH, hindi nila finirspick agad yung Granger no? So, alam pa rin nila na makukuha nila yung Granger given that, kumbaga pino-force nila yung daming pwedeng gamitin work Oster Force, pero pinorce nila yung Work Oster Force kung kukunin man nila yung Granger. And I think dito pa lang sa part na to, medyo nagkaroon na ng slight win yung Aura PH in terms of drafting kasi nakuha pa rin nila yung gusto nila given na nakadenay pa sila ng Kagura.
I agree.
Your
At nakita naman natin
team
yung
is
Work
banning.
Oster Force, pinakita na nila kaagad yung kanilang mga core heroes. Again, Lunox and also the Lancelot. So meron pa rin opportunity dito yung Aura PH na pumili ng tank, which is the Kufra, one of the
Pwede.
best heroes na pwedeng pang-counter dito sa current lineup. Again, that will cancel the... pero meron din naman pang-cancel dito yung Work Oster Force with that bouncing ball kapag na-ejector dito. Pero lamang sa team fight ang Aura PH kung magkukufra sila.
Totoo. Kung titignan mo ngayon dito, no, sa Aura PH, they already have their trio.
Oo.
'Di ba? Parang we rarely see them use the choke on the side lane and this is gonna be a JP's hero. So ngayon for the side of Work Oster Force, they're canceling or rather banning ngayon yung mga possible na maging hero dito ng Aura PH on their side lane. And dito naman, meanwhile, for
Your
Aura
team
PH,
is banned.
wala pa rin. Kumbaga pareha sila dito na nilagay nila sa final 2 picks nila yung yung pareha side lane nila. Kumbaga sinecure muna nila yung parehas yung trio nila.
Trio, yung trio tagapayo, kumbaga yung mga umiikot lagi
Yes.
sa lanes. And yeah, I completely agree. Rob, Work Oster Force removing the Khalid. So, ang ramdam dito ng Work Oster Force, okay. Meron silang crowd control with the Kagura Sin yung overturn, pero kulang pa sila ng isa pang magme-main initiate. And with that, nagtanggal sila ng thumbs sa side ng Aura PH dito. One of the best sustainable heroes or sustained heroes, static heroes.
Saka ano din yung Tamos din kasi parang kilala din talaga siya para sa Aura PH. And regardless of the two, most of the time, Kilowash yung gumagamit. Pero
Kilowash.
even Benecutie, they also have games na nananalo sila even with Benecutie using this hero. Pero now, ano pa ba mga available TDC na mga side lane na pwede nilang piliin?
Your
Daksha
team
ngayon,
is
ang isang naging pick ng Aura for the side of Work Oster Force. What do you think?
Sa side ng Work Oster Force dito, since naban na si Alice, they can go for a Uranus. Medyo risky since nandyan din yung Baxia. Pero meron silang, I'm really confident with Lunox against Baxia matchup. Kasi ang Lunox kasi, more on advantage niya is magic penetration. Yung one of the easiest ways for them to burst out the Baxia. So it's kind of risky for Aura PH here. Pero Uranus nga, medyo safe
You
dito.
got it right.
Yep.
Oo.
Thank you. Medyo safe talaga dito ang Uranus kasi mas mababox out nila, mas makakalapit kaagad si Uranus up against the Granger. So kaya niyang sumulubsob with the Radiant stacks kapag meron siyang 20, kaya niyang saluhin yung Rhapsody para lang ma-push
team
out
is
dito yung Granger when it comes to team fights. Isa pa, Parsa, really good against the team fight control, and kapag tumama dito yung Curse of the Crown niya sa mga frontliners, one of the best ways to counter the Kagura is to stun lock him. Hintayin mo na nasa labas yung umbrella niya bago mo siya i-stun kasi hindi siya makakabalik hindi siya makaka-flee.
Yeah, totoo yan. I agree with you with that Kagura on its mechanic. Pero ito na sa Work Oster Force, they will be locking in here Forza. So you could do either way. It's either the Lunox could do the side lane or rather even the Forza. And we've seen this like on Omega, si Toshi na gumagamit.
Oh.
But before ko pang matatapos yung aking information, this is the first time na makakakita tayo ng Martis sa MPL Season 7. And it's gonna be Benecutie will be using this hero. Kung di ako nagkakamali, si Kilowash medyo known din siya sa paggamit ng hero na to. And oh my, pinag-usapan natin kanina yung tungkol sa alas. Ito na kaya yon para sa Aura PH.
Rob, nakikita natin dito sa Martis, isa sa mga strength ng Martis is the control. Kumbaga, kaya kanyang i-juggle, air juggle literally with the mortal coil, yung hagis niyang pag ganun, yung movement speed niya, yung movement na pwede niyang i-reposition yung kalaban. Ang laking bagay nun para sa Aura PH. Bakit? With the control. Again, we're talking about mispositioning and also the decimation, yung parang
yung
lasit
sipit?
niya, yung gaganon, Ashura yun
Ashura.
Crowd control ang kailangan nilang gawin dito. And also yung decimation, yung pag nandun ka na sa HP threshold.
The ultimate.
The ultimate.
Kumbaga pagka lalong kumukonting buhay mo, parang may movement speed pa kasama yon, tapos patay ka pa kaagad. Yeah, I really like you pointed out yung mga skills dito ni Martis. And for sure, there are a lot of people na medyo hindi nang ganon ka-familiar, specifically kung ngayon ka pa lang nanonood ng MPL or even playing Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Pero itong hero na to, na buff to on the previous patch din naman natin, no? Na ang bilis na ng kanyang minion wave clear. So this could potentially help Aura PH on their invades against Work Oster Force.
Yep, and also controlling the lane equilibrium. And tingin ko every time, sinubukan itong Martis sa tutol eh. Kumaga sa side lanes, ang bilis siya mag-clear out. Kapag hindi mo pre-knock yung second trigger ng kanyang Mortal Coil, ang bilis ng cooldown niya. So tingin ko that's one of the reasons why kung bakit okay siya sa side lane.
Ang gandang technique no, na pointed out. Kasi most of the time ginagamit lahat eh. No? So there's a point na kukontrolin mo lang. Pag di mo yun, ang bilis ng kanyang cooldown, no? So, yeah, this is very interesting for the side ngayon dito ng Aura-PH. Who will take it? Medyo nagkakaroon tayo dito ng magandang poke. So far, Kilowash mas nakakalamang siya dito against the Uranus. Let me know, what do you think about this matchup, TDZ?
Well, sa top lane matchup dito, lumalamang dito si Baksha because of the Baksha mark. Pero si Unravel dito sa bottom lane, pinili niya na ibigay na lang kay JP yung kill compared na ibigay yung kill kay Lord Hades.
Yes, but still, that's 2 kills para sa Aura-PH. And this might actually bolster the early stages of the game. Given na tinatanong ko sa'yo kanina dito, Trimmer TZ is having a hard time going against the Baksha dito ni Kilowash.
Yeah, early game pa lang din kasi meron siyang Shield Spirit at meron din siyang Concussive Blast. At ang alam naman natin si Uranus gusto niya laging sumalubsob para makakuha siya ng Ionic Edge plus the Radiant stacks. Pero kapag nagkaroon agad ng level 4 dito si Uranus, kaya niya makipagbakbakan ka agad. So Transcendent Ward, tingin ko, yun yung ginagawang rotation dito ng Aura-PH eh. Control the top lane, stop Trimmer TZ from snowballing. Nakita natin yung performance niya before with the Uranus. Isa siya sa mga talagang hindi agad makontrol ng kalaban nila noon. And again, with the positioning from work of
Yes, speaking of positioning dito, naiba to na kaagad doon si JP. Pero si Unravel ang unang mawawala. Habol ngayon dito mga members dito ng Aura-PH. Pumapalag naman yung work. Going with the sword sa may backlane dito si Cho. Pero the puncture, mukhang hindi siya makapag-dash in or dash out rather dito sa mga members ngayon ng Aura-PH. Habol pa rin sila dito. They are chasing in. Medyo makunat naman dito si Trimmer TZ. But Benny Cutie with this Mortis will be taking Uranus together with the turtle ni Hades. So far dito TDZ, lahat na pupunta para sa side ng Aura-PH.
Isa sa magandang finisher dito si Martis, again with the Mortal Coil, juggle kaagad. At may hirapan dito si Chu na mag-position kasi once na nahuli siya ng Mortal Coil, it is a great opening for Aura-PH to burst him down. At ang daming burst dito ng Aura. Merong Kagura with the Magic Burst and also Lord Hades with the Physical Burst kapag nakakuha siya ng kanyang Rhapsody.
Kung babalikan natin yung turtle fight na yun, no? The initiation actually came from work, di ba? Binato kagad doon si JP, but on the process, dun sa team fight, it was still Aura-PH won the engagement. And together na nakita pa natin yung kill doon na manggagaling dito sa Mortis na to. So far dito, TDZ going, this is a 1,000 lead. This is kayang-kayang bawiin to, but before that, Greed will be taken down. May sipa dito si JP, may bawi naman dito ang side ng Aura-PH. Pero what do you think? Paano bang dito? With work ba? Mag-hold lang ba dito sila sa early game since yung Aura-PH yung nagsiset ng tempo sa laro na to?
Tama yung call mo na yun, Rob. Hold the early game kasi nakapansin ng work on ng Aura-PH na kailangan nila ng oras para mag-enable rather yung draft ng Work Officer Force. Napansin natin kanina dun sa team fight sa Turtle area, si Lunox at si Farsa hindi gumalaw kasi alam nila na okay, sige, wala akong damage output.
Totoo. Pero kung papansinin mo, no, TDZ, yung pwesto ng brush na yan sa gitna, parang kung papansinin mo, dyan nakapwesto lagi si Unravel. Unravel brush yan, mga kaibigan yan. Doon sa may top lane, ganun din yung ginawa nila. Tapos nandun, kumbaga, si JP ngayon, lagi iniisip niya, may robot sa loob.
May robot sa loob. Lagi may tao doon. Kasi sabi nga ng mga analyst natin na kapag kung sino yung una maka-occupy ng small brush na yan, especially kapag dun mag-respond yung turtle, lamang ka na agad by 20% when it comes to that fight. Bakit? Kasi nandun yung surprise factor. Nandun ka agad yung, hindi mo malaman kung ilang tao yung nandun sa fight.
Totoo. Kakaiba yung brush na yun. Kasya kahit sino. Pero dito, sa may top lane, Kilowash dito, still holding on dito sa kanyang revitalize. Pero walang malakas sa apat, pero may kapalit yon. Dahil Lord Hades has already been taken the turtle. Kahit papaano, may bawi naman doon ang Aura-PH regardless na napatay si Kilowash. Now, TDZ going on dito. Pantay pa rin dito ang ating mga, I think yung Torre lang natin yung magiging sagot dito, no? Sino kaya sa tingin mo ang mas maunang makakakuha ng mga Torre? And looks like Aura-PH, sila yung may, kaya nila parang confident sila namang invade at hindi gustong pasukin ni Unravel yung brush na yun dahil hindi rin niya alam kung anong laman nun.
Sa akin, Rob, to answer your question, ang mauuna dito sa pagkuha ng third is yung Aura PH. The reason why, again, merong Asura's Wrath dito si Marty, si Benny Cutie. Kapag nakakuha siya ng Asura's Wrath, kapag apat na yung Asura's Wrath niya, ang bilis ng attack speed niya. At nakita natin every single time, meron din silang range capability with Lord Hades, but what I'm trying to say is the attack speed from Martis, less than 5 minutes, para ka na agad naka-DHS eh. Sobrang bilis, para ka naka-Windtalker. Kaya mong i-disable lahat. At with that, wala na kagad yung bottom lane ng Work Oster Force.
Saka nagpe-pay off din sa kanila tong Martis ni Benny Cutie. Kung titignan mo yung KDA niya dito, 3-0-0. Meaning to say, is really getting the kills and even the farm para dito sa hero na to. Pero ito mga kaibigan, this is slight, kumbaga, disiplina pa rin naman on both of the teams. Though, nakuha yung top lane dito, or rather na Torre dito ng Aura PH. Remar TC, medyo delikado siya dito. 2 members ang humahabol sa kanya dito. May flank sa likod, Greed, using that ultimate dito sa kanyang CB Umbrella. Pero Team RTC still too tanky. Ngayon, may Jitcon doon si JP pero hindi niya na sinubukang sipain pa rito. Sino ang unang mawawala? That's gonna be Unravel. Ngayon, confident na dito pumasok sa ilalim ng Torre ang mga tropa natin from Aura PH. Pero Team RTC, gaano ba kakunat itong hero na to? JP pa ang nawala. Oh no! TDZ, it's all about Aura PH going in pero mukhang Work Oster Force pa ang magwawagi.
Naipit doon si Cho sa loob ng Tier 1 turret. It was a nice attempt, but you also need to respect the tankiness of 3 Martizi here. And nakita natin yung item niya kanina, meron siyang Purify, meron siyang Transcendent Ward. So almost lahat ng CC niyo is mananalify ka agad.
Grabe
so you
yung
need to burst him out. Kailangan talaga makakuha ka ng magandang opportunity. At yun yung strength ng work dito.
Yun talaga, mukhang makikita na natin dito yung strength na sinasabi mo dahil makukuha ni Chu dito. Yung turtle na to may bato pa doon sa may bandang likod. Unravel will be taken down and a kick. Or rather, yung Martis na doon, halos wala na ako nang sasabihin dahil sobrang lakas nung damage na yon. 3-man down for the side of Work Oster Force. Walang kapalit yon. Tuloy-tuloy ngayon dito ang aggression ng Aura PH. But still, may nakuha naman sila doon. Good attempt for JP getting the way of the dragon doon sa Lunox pero hindi enough yung damage. Kumain siya ng Torre and even naka-dark as well doon si RTZ. So far, what actually happened doon, TDZ?
Even trade yun, Rob. Kasi nakita natin, with that way of the dragon sa loob, kahit hindi niya napatay dito si RTZ, nagkaroon ng opening dito ng Aura PH para ma-take down yung middle lane turret ng Work Oster Force. Well, going back to what I mentioned earlier in Series 1, na sobrang importante ng middle lane turret because nare-reduce or dinideny mo yung damage reduction na capability na kayang ibigay ng turret para sa mga allied heroes niya. And napapansin natin, gustong sumugod lagi ng Aura PH sa middle lane at makontrol kagad yung jungle area ng Work.
Talaga yung nagsiset ng tempo dito, TBC. At kung papansinin mo sa mapa, lagi nilang gustong kunin yung Torre doon sa taas. Kaso na-hold yun palagi ni Tremor TZ. Kung titignan mo rito, dalawang members ng Aura PH, hindi na siya, kumbaga, nagka-cut lane na siya dito and really forcing a reaction dito para sa mga members ng Aura PH. This game might actually drag in a very long game. TDZ, ngayon, magkakaroon na tayo ng Lord. Hindi mabasag-basag ng Aura PH tong top lane. Paano ang gagawin nila dito? Will Work Oster Force just stay still? Or kailangan sila naman ang sumapak dito sa Aura PH?
Kailangan mag-stay still lang sila kasi ang current composition dito ng Work Oster Force, they are, yung strength nila is more of a positioning. So kapag nakakuha agad sila ng position sa may Branga Brush area at sumugod dun yung Aura PH and dun yung surprise factor. Again, we're talking about Parsa and also Lunox plus the plus the Lancelot combo. Pero si JP dito mukhang naiwan sa gitna.
Siya nga yung naiwan sa gitna pero that is just providing vision and information dito para sa side ng Aura PH kasi binasag na ngayon nila yung dalawang Torre na kanina pa nilang gustong kunin and this is good news, TDZ, para sa side ng Aura kasi nakaposition sila ng maganda dito sa Lord Pit.
Yep, at Lord area indeed, 1/4 na ang bawas dito ng Aura PH pero Unravel mukhang nag-aabang din magandang position. Medyo nagamit ang kanyang feathered airstrike so again, Aura PH with the timers.
Yun na, sinimulan na ni JP yung sipa doon na reset naman yung Lord pero looks like Work Oster Force. Sila ang mawawalan, Unravel ang mawawala. Benny Cutie will get shut down by RTZ na abangan siya doon sa likod. An even exchange yun, TDZ. What do you think?
Tingin ko dito lumumang ang Work Oster Force kasi kahit nung wala si Unravel, okay lang, naka-pull yourself together. So yung respawn timer niya is sobrang bilis lang. But stopping the streak from Benny Cutie is the big thing. Ang laki agad ng gold na naibigay din ng Benny Cutie sa side ng work.
Totoo. What I ask you is kung ano yun kung even yun. And for Work Oster Force, definitely even. Unang nakuha doon si Unravel, pero naiwan sa likod. I get the point kung bakit nasa likod si Benny Cutie. Kasi you would want to flank, you would want to take si Kusei, itong Farsa na to, which is very squishy, especially pag ang Martis ang kukuha sa kanya. Pero inabangan RTC
talaga.
was actually there and alam nila napapasukin sila doon sa likod.
Pati yun talaga ang punto Nakita mo natin dito, lahat ng ganitong klaseng draft, hintayan gaming, tol. Kailangan mo makakuha ng magandang position. Patience is a virtue. Especially on this current draft, Kosei with the Farsa, RTZ. Sinabi ko nga kanina, ang lalabas lang ditong hero sa side ng work is si Unravel, pati si Trimartizi. Trimartizi, nakita siya kanina from, habang naghihintay pa lang yung aura and also work sa may Lord area, kinat na kagad yung bottom lane. Kaya napansin natin yung damage ng turret sa bottom lane is almost kahit isang one hit na lang.
Isang one hit nga galing sa ating pinaka-legendary caster na si Imagine Faldas. Pero ito medyo 4v4 match-up lagi ang nangyayari dito. Kasi hindi mo rin pwedeng iwan si Trimartizi on the Uranus and probably get dito sa may bottom lane na mag-cut ng mga lanes. So, like what you've said, abangan dito, patience is a virtue. Even RTC has a perfect place doon, position indeed, doon sa may top lane. Kumbaga, it was steadily going into work. Sa ganitong sitwasyon, EDC, what do you think? Yung parang tug of war, pero mamaya mo na sagutin niya dahil sa likod may jeep kundong tatlo para kay JP. Shutdown ngayon dito si RTZ. Pero sino ngayon ang sunod na mawawala? JP, still alive. Pero ngayon ang mga members dito ng LPE, hindi na tayo maghahabol mga tol dahil pwede na nating kunin ng Lord. Ito na, sinisimulan na ngayon nila dito TDC na pa-TP out dito ang mga members ng Work Oster Force. Aabot ba sila dito? Chu is still on the vicinity. Mukhang hindi na yata nila aabutan to para makontest. And this is it. LPH getting the first Lord. May palag pa dito. Even Trimartizi is forced na sumama na ngayon sa team fight.
Ang ganda ng pagkaka-zone out dito ni Greed. Napansin niya na okay si Chu nasa middle lane. Ginamit niya yung kanyang Thorn Rose. But yung giving the threat na okay, sige, kung gusto mong dumaan dito sa area na to, sa may brush, left brush area, kailangan mong i-absorb yung damage ng aking yin-yang overturn. So si Chu ngayon, pwera siya na pumunta sa baba, but it's way too late. Nakita niya yung banner na Lord has been taken at hindi na siya magko-contest kagad. So it's all about positioning. Nakita mo natin yung dito yung advantage ng LPH na force back nila, na i-push back nila rather, yung Work Oster Force, at with that snap, with that opportunity, hindi sila patumpik-tumpik pa. Kumuha agad sila ng Lord.
Kumuha sila. Speaking of hindi magpatumpik-tumpik, binato agad ni Unravel doon si JP. Muntik-muntik na naman siya doong mamatay. Low HP ang ibang members dito ng LPH. Bukang magti-TP out na muna sila as the Lord is still approaching on the top lane. Pero maganda ngayon ang positioning dito ng mga members ng LPH. Pero malayo pa yung iba. So TDZ, looking at the map right now, it's look like na hindi nila sasabayan yung Lord and they potentially would want to remove the inner turrets dito sa gitna at even doon sa may bottom lane. Pero eto na, Work Oster Force, may bato na naman sila dito with Unravel. JP, this time around, hindi siya mabubuhay. Kasama pa si Greed. 2 members down. Ngayon ang nawala dito sa aura. Pero sabi ni Benny Cutie, this is my time. This is my time to shine. Pero triple kill ang pinalit doon ni Chu. Medyo bumaliktad pa ngayon ang Vapor dito ng LPH. Nasa kanila yung Lord pero sila ngayon ang unti-unting nauubos dito for Work Oster Force. Now, 4 ang pinatay ni Chu. Gusto pang sundan tong isang to. Kilowash, can he be able to survive? Dilapag niya na rito ang Revitalize pero yung gulong sobrang kunat at hindi pa rin kinaya dito ng Work Oster Force.
Ang ganda ng decision making dito ni Chu. Alam niya na okay, si Kiluwash na lang yung iniiwan doon at ang hirap niyang patayin kasi dalawa na rin ng members ng Work Oster Force yung nandun. So he decided to go for the middle lane afterwards.
That is a very disciplined. Kahit sabihin nating napatay nila yung back doon, that would take a lot of time compare to the trade na pwede nilang makuha yung mga tore dito ng LPH. Now, Work Oster Force going confident dito to invade the orange buff ngayon dito ni Lord Hades. But right now, TDZ, balik tayo ngayon dito on an even scale. Look at the gold. Dikit na dikit.
Lamang pa nga yung work dito May 1K net worth mga kaibigan. And also kahit lugi sila sa kills, nakikita natin dito yung opportunity, yung kung paano kasi methodical yung approach dito ng Work Author Force. Okay lang, kalmado lang tayo. It's just the outer turrets. Hanggat hindi na-take down yung mga inner turrets natin, meron tayong pag-asa na maging aggressive. And with this, look at the position of Work Author Force, mga kaibigan. Top left corner, ino-occupy na ng Work Author Force yung jungle area at hinihintay nilang makakuha ng isa.
Yun na yata yung isa, yun si Kilowash with the combination of Ejector together with the feathered airstrike ni RTZ. That's gonna be a 4v5 ngayon on the bottom lane. So RPH decided na wag na nating depensahan yan. Doon tayo sa loob dahil wala ang ating tanky hero na si Kilowash. Ngayon dito, looks like bumaliktad ang istorya dito, mga kaibigan. Work Author Force on the verge of winning on this series against Aura PH. Kanina sila yung mas nakakalamang. In fact, nakuha pa nila yung Lord. Pero TDZ, what could have happened? Nag-overstay ba or nag-overcommit ba ang Aura PH nung nakuha nila yung Lord? That's the reason bumaliktad tong larong to?
Nag-overcommit dito si Benny Cutie. Gamit yung kanyang Martes. Sumulubsob siya sa loob ng between the tier 2 and the tier 3 turret. Tingin ko, I gets ko yung yung gusto niyong gawin dito Makakuha siya ng decimation strike, makukuha ang pro kagad yung killing spree. But while that is happening though,
that is happening habang pinapaliwanag mo yung TDZ, tinitignan ko kung gaano ba kakunat si 3 TZ. Greed will be taken down. Medyo napahaba yata ang habol doon ng mga members ng Aura PH. Nandito na naman si Chu. Nag-uubos na naman dito sa mga members ng Aura. Tatlo ang nawala. Mukhang hindi na yata mauulit TDZ ang nangyari nung nakaraan. Pero magiging disiplinado dito ang Work Author Force. Kunin na muna natin tong Lord. Ito, pero si Benny Cutie, medyo nag-abang siya doon. Pero alam nyo ng Work Author Force, and he will be taken down. Sabi dito ng Work Author Force, wag nang mag-Lord, isa lang ang magbabantay. That's gonna be the back shot. Hindi niya kaya na bantayan dahil diretso na tayo sa base. Will it be the final team fight ngayon dito? Kilowash dito, gumulong-gulong pero walang tumutulong. Binato siya ni Andraven, nilabas siya sa base, tungka sa labas. Ngayon, Work Author Force with the antics dito, with the TP-TP. Sino may sabing bawal mag-TP? Kukuha din namin ngayon ang base ng Aura PH.
Ladies and gentlemen, Work Author Force successfully got their revenge. And this winning moment is brought to you by Head and Shoulders. Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to this awkward hashtag HGG moments. Thanks to Head and Shoulders, 100% gender free and itch free. Now, mas mabongo pa. Rob, nakita natin yung galawan doon. From the early game, nasa side ng Aura PH, pero nung nakahanap sila ng opportunity, sandali lang, medyo sumulubsob dito si Benny Cutie, medyo na out of position doon ng Aura PH, at yun yung opening na talagang, unting butas lang yun tol pero talagang, nilaliman nila.
Kung pinag-usapan pa natin, dikit na yung laban, nagsimula yon doon kay Kilowash, nabato siya, na-pick off siya, back off ngayon dito ang Aura. Meanwhile, on the top lane, 3 TZ, nahatak niya yung mga members ng Aura PH, lumabas. At from that moment, Chu and the rest of the members ng Work Author Force, they flank ngayon dito ang Aura PH at nakuha nila. Pero pwede pa mag-Lord Kaso na-pick off si Benny Cutie. And that is where nila naisip na wag na natin kunin ng Lord, tapusin na natin to. But we will hear a lot of things dito sa nangyari dito during game number 2. Ating pakinggan ngayon si Midnight.
Denied ang naging story dito for Aura PH. Work Author Force denied them the opportunity to introduce properly the Martis and the win streak din ng Aura PH. Once again, welcome back to The Understand. My name is Midnight and ating i-breakdown kung paano dinemolish ng Work Author Force yung streak or yung momentum ng Aura PH. Let's look at first the post-game stats here brought to us by Smart, the official tournamental co-partner of MPL. Free-to-game great with Smart, free games for all. Now, there are 2 conditions here for Aura PH. No? Number 1, kailangan nilang makaharap ng early game snowball. And number 2, they should close the game as soon as possible. Kasi pag umabot tayo late game, tingnan nyo yung hero sa side ng Work Author Force, nakakatakot kalabanin yung late game nila. There's a high sustain on the Uranus and there are ample of damage on the form of Lancelot, Lunox, and the Farsa. Hindi naman sila kulang ng damage actually sa side ng Aura PH. But it's harder to close the game against this lineup of Work Author Force na kaya mag-defend and at the same time has long-range nukes against Aura PH. And very crucial actually dito yung naging itemization ni Hades. He went with the Thunder Strike and then proceeded to buy the Athena Shield and the Thunder Belt. Dito natin naramdaman yung suffering ng Aura PH na kinukulang sila sa damage output. Mostly, it was Benny Cutie and greed that is dishing out the damage output during the later parts of the game. Kasi si Lord Hades, kailangan niya isipin yung pwesto niya. Number 1, of course, you're playing against the Lancelot. And number 2, yung burst potential mo against the heroes of Work Oster Force. Ang dami nilang control actually. Meron silang Cho, meron silang Kagura, and meron din silang Baksha. But the thing is, you need to burst down the heroes on the side of Work Oster Force. And they suffered because of the build. Hindi naman mali ni Lord Hades. It's just that the adjustment didn't really fit the playstyle that LPH was playing kasi nga kinukulang sila sa damage. Of course, napakaganda rin kasi ng pinapakita ng Work Oster Force. No? They can really protect their own box. Kahit pa may back siya, yung Aura PH, kayang-kaya nilang protektahan si Chu, even Imartizi kapag Aura PH, if they decide to go on the Uranus, lagi sila nag-group up and they always fight as 5. That's the thing with Work Oster Force. Hindi nila hinayaan na mag-snowball ang Aura PH. Mamaya actually makikita natin yan sa ating highlights. Pero tingnan nyo muna yung ating mga rewards. No? Nanonood lang kayo, may chance pa kayo manalo ng in-game rewards. All you have to do is scan this QR code or punta kayo dito sa website, fill up a form, and if you're one of the first 30,000 entries, no, yung registrants, ay mananalo kayo ng skin na worth 599 diamonds. So kung ano pang hinihintay nyo, punta na kayo dun sa form at fill upan nyo na kagad yan. Now, let's move to the game highlights here. Brought to us by Smart, the official tournamental co-partner of MPL. Free to game great with Smart, free games for all. Makikita natin dito na medyo actually nahihirapan ang Work Oster Force sa early game, especially with the Martis on the side of Aura PH. No? Immune din kasi sa control yung Martis natin dito. So the likes of Jawhead will not really work against the Martis on the early game. Kaya nakita natin, naka-snowball kagad si BenQT and he put a lot of pressure on the map. This time around, iniba ng Work Oster Force yung playstyle nila. Instead of splitting up the map, let's just group up and try to delay or defend the game against Aura PH. Kasi alam mo na pagdating ng late game, you have ample of resources to deal with how Aura PH is playing. No? Kapag nag-push ang Aura, you have a Farsa. If they try to gank a lane, you can have the Uranus sit on that lane. So ang daming solution ng Work Oster Force pagdating sa late game. Ang problem lang is paano tayo tatawid doon. Aura PH, they got a momentum, but again, the thing is, yung adjustments, no? Yung naging adjustment ng itemization dito ng Granger really did cause a lot of issues for Aura PH. Again, Imartizi sa may top lane, napakahirap patayin yan. And nakaka-respond pa actually yung Work Oster Force. There are a lot of delays happening here for Aura PH. Of course, sila pa rin naman yung maganda mag-objective dito. No? They still have the Baksha that can destroy the box. They have BenQT to help out during these team fights. But yung problema is that yung damage and yung cores na kailangan nila patayin, hindi nila nakukuha. Aura PH, again, still they are managing to get these key kills on the side of Work Oster Force. Napatay nila si Chu, kanina nakita nyo sa may bottom lane. Pero after that, naramdaman na natin na okay, parang nagiging online na yung heroes ng Work Oster Force. No? Suddenly, yung damage parang hindi na enough. And it started when the Lunox and the Farsa became online. Yung damage arsenal nila, sobrang taas. Kapag may nagpakitang hero sa harap ng Aura PH, they easily burst him down with the Lunox and the Farsa. Walang hesitation whatsoever. Sobrang, kahit sino makita ng Work Oster Force, tatapon ni Jawhead pabalik. And next na makita natin, let's go for it. Kasi hindi sila pwede maging hesitant dito against Aura PH. Kasi matatalo sila down the line. Work Oster Force, ang naging playstyle nila dito is that whenever we see a hero on the side of Aura PH, let's establish a box and not leave it. Yan yung ginagawa nila, kaya lagi sila lumalaban as 5. Si Farsa pwedeng humiwala yan kasi mabilis naman respond, but that is the key here for Work Oster Force. They never left each other. Kumbaga, teamwork is what makes the dream work. Look at this, Imartizi, top lane, sabi, okay, go tayo kay Uranus. But suddenly, there are 4 heroes going to the top lane to help out the Uranus. Siyempre, alam nila kasi clash to eh. And at the same time, mabubuhay din naman yung Uranus. And this is where you start seeing that they have no damage on the side of Aura PH. Problema na siguro na meron silang Baksha, but the thing is, Baksha was meant to destroy the box of Work Oster Force. It's just that the late game adjustments were really not the right approach for the side of Aura PH. Again, yung naging itemization, yung adjustments ng Rager, it made a lot of issues kasi kinulang talaga sila sa damage. And of course, the MVP of that game brought to you by Smart, the official tournamental co-partner of MPL. Break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game great with free games for all. Ever since nag-qualify ang Work Oster Force, no, Unravel has been one of the most consistent tanks out there. Napakalaki ng threat na ini-establish ni Unravel. Actually, it helps on building a solid foundation kung ano ba yung sinasabi nating box or yung territory ng Work Oster Force. Kapag nandiyan kasi si Unravel, literal, kahit sinong makita niya, basta papasok na sa box, nagiging aggressive itong taong to. And that allows Work Oster Force to get the victory here against LPE. That is it for the first series of the day. Ipapasa natin kayo sa ating mga casters.
Wow, that was a wonderful analysis coming from Midnight. Ang dami nating natutunan doon. And
Dami.
alam mo yung pag hinihimay-himay mo na yung mga nangyari right after it, may kita mo yung pagsigsag nga ni Chu doon sa may yung pag-flank nila. Sa backlines ng LPH really did a lot. Final thoughts, TDZ, before we wrap up this series.
Control. Talagang, again, kahit lugi na kayo ng early game, basta meron kayong late game, patient is a virtue.
Patience is indeed a virtue. But once again, guys, MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official telco partner, or official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free to game great with Smart free games for all. TDZ, unang serye pa lang yan ng araw na to. We still have one more, NXP versus LPE. And ito yung inaabangan. Ang daming nagtatanong, even sa comment section pag nagbabasa ako, maglalaro daw po ba si Randy J? Yun ang malaking tanong. To be honest with you, mga kaibigan, hindi rin namin alam. Pero ating malalaman yan in just a very short while dahil ang MPL Season 7 ay magbabalik. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life. Simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one path. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart, ako.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. What's the word on the sea? We've been kicking up the dust, you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Moment na sana, pero hassle ang kati. Yung kati na yan, dahil sa dandruff yan. You need Head and Shoulders. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kati. No more hassle sa moment. Goodbye na sa kati dahil 100% dandruff-free ka.
Sikreto ng mga gwapong Master Gamer? Para fresh all day, bring your clay game with Master. New Master All-in-One Clay Wash. Fights germs, controls oil up to 12 hours, and helps prevent pimples. New Master All-in-One Clay Wash. Sikreto ng mga gwapo.
Express your online business. Express your online business.
inside a JanSport backpack, you see a story that started in 1967. Since then, our mission has expanded to helping protect our environment for future generations to enjoy. It's a work in progress, but just this season we've used the equivalent of 13 million bottles worth of recycled polyester in our most popular backpacks. When you look inside a JanSport pack, you see our commitment to this brilliant blue planet we call home. And we're just getting started.
Nature is our ally, not our enemy. We rely on nature as our life support system.
We are all connected. This is our opportunity for a new balance with nature.
It's time to step up our game for conservation.
Let's gather for a team fight.
There's no other option than this is our anti.
We could be the last generation to save the world.
Together we can protect and conserve species and their habitat. Because together, anything is possible.
Victory! 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 Victory for nature! Together! 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 Possible!
I know you already know what it takes, so follow my lead, let's go. We can roll with the punches.
Don't listen to music, feel it. Born insensitive. I rap, therefore I am.
Everyone can be a leader. I must win.
What do you do when what you desire is beyond reach?
You use power that breaks barriers. The Giga Life.
Now in 5G.
Do you believe this is possible?
I do.
How do you know?
Simple, smart, acro.
Hey guys, I'm here with Kate and Bea.
Bad timing ang kate. Baka dandruff yan? Use Head & Shoulders every day. Unlike beauty shampoos, tanggal ang dandruff that causes kate. Para di babalik-balik, kati gone for good na. Dahil 100% dandruff-free ka.
Hi guys, I'm here with Kate.
Para araw-araw, close na close. Max pinabango pa.
I see lots of prey.
Welcome to the pre-game show kung saan pag-uusapan natin ang susunod na mga laban. Ito ang MPL-Philippines Season 7 presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Free to game great with Smart free games for all. Nakasali na ba kayo sa ating mythical raffle draw dahil bukas i-announce ko na kung sino nga ba ang mga winners doon. May makikita kayong QR code just right over here. Kailangan ng iscan ng QR code na yan para sagutin ang ating quiz na sobrang dali lang para may chance kayong manalo ng mga papremyo. Hindi lang yan, meron din kayong live watching rewards. Dahil sa pagpapanood nyo ng ating MPL, dapat may gift din kayo. Magkakaroon kayo ng treasure chest pag na-scan nyo itong QR code at na-fill up nyo yung form properly. First 30,000 every game day will win a treasure. Ano nga ba yung treasure na yon? Pwede kayong manalo ng 599 Diaz worth of skin. Now, MPL Philippines Season 7 is presented by Smart, the official tournament telco partner of the MPL. Break through your own limits, rise above, and be free to game great with free games for all. Get 1 gig a day for Mobile Legends, Facebook Gaming, and more, plus free 1 gig a day for 7 days. Just dial *123# or download Giga Life app and choose free games. Ako po si Mara Aquino at kasama ko ngayon napakahusay na casters. Nandito si TDZ and Raptor.
Mara, sobrang saya ako na nakaupo ako kasi kung hindi, sobrang ego ako dito kay TDZ. So, salamat lang na nakaupo dito tayo sa set natin. Thank goodness.
Etong susunod na laban natin, TDZ Raptor, ang NXP kontra LPE. Now, these are the two teams that just recently stopped their losing streak and they want nothing more than to build on their victories. Now, recap tayo. March 20th, ang unang sabak nila ngayong Season 7. Nagtapat itong dalawa at nanalo itong LPE. A lot of people were surprised actually dahil bagong koponan sila na 2-1 nila ang NXP Esports.
Yeah, this almost really looked like a 2-0 para sa NXP. Ang ganda nung pinakita nila nung game number 1. It was a very long series. LPE especially here, dito natin nakita nila na paano sila mag-manage pag umabot na sa mid to the late game when we need to finish the game. LPE nung game 2, si Jake the Dog, heroic performance on the Harris. And then in game number 3, naglabas sila ng double marksman with the Bruno and the Claude as well. And we're starting to, this is where we also saw glimpses of Rafaela breaking into the meta for this season. It was a fantastic showing by both of these two teams. Honestly, we saw the improvement ng NXP, how they're a little bit more disciplined this time around. Mas maganda yung galaw nila, but it just wasn't enough against LPE.
Ito may kita mo talaga yung yung pagka-execution eh. Kumbaga itong week na to yung time na talaga nagkakapalabasan pa lang ng mga ating mga meta heroes. But it was perfectly executed by LPE.
Sobrang init ng laban na pati na rin sa social media itong si Ako nakuha siya, nag-picture sa social media na may tinapon na something at nag-trending ito all over Facebook. What now? Tignan natin kung ano nga ba ang comeback ng NXP. Ang NXP finally stopped their 4-game losing streak and now they are 2 wins with 8 points. They are wishing and hoping to get a win streak. Silipin natin ang mga manlalaro ng Next Way Esports. Next Play Esports wants to get back on the team, the first team that beat them ngayong Season 7. Now, you've seen how they both play. Ano nga ba dapat na kailangan gawin ng Next Play para masigurado na it's upside down naman this time, na sila ang makakasungkit ng panalo?
Well, nakita natin ang laro ng Next Play again after that 4 times na natalo sila pero nakakuha na sila ng magandang momentum. Ito yung kailangan nilang gamitin para mag-snowball lalo. Siyempre, kailangan ng magandang spark eh. So, with their recent performance, I think they already got it. Kailangan nila ma-execute yung draft nila and also the plans. They just need to play safely and get their power spikes on.
Yeah, safely, but then at the same time, not too safe na mawawala yung identity na nila na, boom, we're Next Play, we're gonna fight, lalaban kami. They need to keep that alive as well, and just balance na lang ang kailangan ng NXP ngayon.
Sino nga ba ang maglalaro para sa Next Play Esports ngayong araw? Nandyan si Exort, H2O, James, Lancy, and Yawi. Wala si Rene J ngayon.
Interesting.
I wonder why.
Bakit kaya? This is the first time we're gonna see Exort and Lancy, in the same lineup. Lancy's gonna be going to the mid lane, and I think because of Exort's experience with, yung experience na niya na meron siya, he's gonna be going to the gold lane na nakita natin naman dun lumalabas din yung mga mage picks.
Yeah. At nakita ko dito si Exort, again with his Eve, ang napapansin ko sa Next Play Esports is all about the flexibility of their playstyle as well. Bihira ako makakita ng teams na talagang every game nag-iiba yung playstyle nila. Again with the Eve, I guess this is the strength of NXP and they need to capitalize on it. Yeah?
Usually makikita natin si Rene J na naglalaro. So, sana okay ka lang. Ngayon, kakalabanin naman ng Next Play Esports ang isang koponan that wants to make it 2 in a row. Kilalanin natin ang Laos Playbook Esports. LPE is coming off such a surprising win from their last time.
Yeah.
Kung maalala natin to, ito yung Benedetta ni Bimo na habang naglo-lord sila, biglang napapuntahan dun sa base at nakuha nila ang kanilang panalo. Do you think that LPE can repeat the same surprise this time with NXP?
Not necessarily the surprise, pero yung marirepeat dito ng LPE is, specifically Bimo, is the consistency that he's shown all throughout the season na despite during the losing efforts ng LPE, si Bimo talaga yung one of the most consistent players ng LPE. And surprise? Maybe not, but consistency, definitely, doon makikita natin.
Veteran moves para kay Bimo.
Veteran moves.
Alam niya kasi yung umaga parang sa sobrang tagal ko na dito sa MPL pa eh. Parang alam ko na yung mga ways para manalo tayo dito.
Yeah.
Napansin mo naman talaga, siya yung nag-ground break talaga ng pagkakataon. LPE mananalo sa game na to.
Silipin natin kung sino nga ba ang mga manlalaro na sasabak ngayon para sa LPE. Jake the Dog, Aspect, Arvs, Royota, and Bimo.
Other than Bimo, though, I also want to look for the rotations of Arvs, how the two are gonna be setting the tempo para sa LPE. Now, because it seems like yung anchorman ngayon ng NXP will be Lancy, Lancy is gonna be going up against a very experienced duo in Arvs and Bimo naman. But then other than Arvs and Bimo, sino pa sa tingin mo sa LPE, TDC yung we have to watch out for here?
Well, tingin ko talaga, it's all the 5-man composition of the LPE itself. Wow. Not more of an individual, pero kasi ang laking factor ng mga times na hindi sila magkakasama sa kanilang bootcamp. But now, I think they're now all grouped up at yun yung kailangan nila when it comes to team communication. And also going back to the reference earlier, iba talaga yung communication, yung impact kapag magkakasama kayo, and also that shows na yung playstyle ng LPE is already back.
Yeah.
LPE and NXP, actually magkadikit lang sila sa ating Group B standings. NXP at number 4, LPE at number 5. Sino nga ba ang magka-climb up? And this head-to-head is brought to you by Oppo A94. Experience gaming at full speed with the all-new Oppo A94. Get yours now for only 13,999 pesos. Ito ang ating game story for today, climbing out of the bottom. Nasa bottom sila ng ating Group B at kailangan nila manalo itong Next Play, 2 wins, 5 losses. LPE 2 wins, 3 losses.
And this is a must-win more for Next Play. Kasi, well, for LPE, because they are just if they can win this 2-0, they're still going to be 1 point below NXP. That's how much in a dangerous spot they are in. Kahit mag-drop dito ng isang game man ang NXP, meron pa silang considerable lead laban sa LPE. So this is definitely must-win more para sa LPE.
A win today will help both teams come out of the basement. Now, kumpara natin yung mga numero, yung ating stats ngayon. What is standing out to you the most, TDZ?
Nakikita ko dito yung aggressiveness ng NXP Esports. Looking at the KDA, 2.9 and also kills per game with 14.3 compared to the stats of LPE. Nakikita ko dito with the execution talagang living up to the name itself ang NXP Esports. Ang napapansin ko with the game timer, average win time, mas mabilis nilang na-execute. So it's all about the flow of the game para sa NXP. If they're able to get the early game or capitalize on their early game, most probably mas mahihirapan ang LPE dito na makontrol yung games when it comes to mid-game to late game.
Who will have a better flow and who will have a better control? And who will be the head and shoulders above this competition? Put your game face on and finally say goodbye to those awkward #ItchAGG moment thanks to Head and Shoulders. 100% dandruff-free and itch-free now. Max mabango pa. Ito ang ating team key players mula sa NXP, Exhort, H2O, and James.
For NXP Esports, Exhort, H2O, and James. Sa H2O naman kasi alam naman natin na isa rin siya sa mga mas comfort niya yung mga heroes na Ling and also Roger. So looking at the playstyle, talagang aggressive dito ang si H2O. At kapag nakakuha niya yung magandang flow, it will give H2O a good lead. So ang nasabi ko talaga sa NXP is early game Kailangan talagang magamit nila yung early game nila with aggressive, with the combination of Exhort as well in these majors.
Yeah, pero one of the more surprising stats from what we saw in NXP earlier, na malapit lang yung KD ni H2O at saka ni Exhort, meaning that Exhort plays a little bit safer and at the same time mas maganda yung equation niya in terms of the kills but he converts. But now, para sa LPE naman, Bimo, Ryota, and JTD being the key players for LPE, I like the selections here. We don't see Aspect, but definitely the side lanes here are gonna come in big. Ryota and Jake the Dog, they're gonna be up against James and Exhort naman. Ryota, I'm gonna look more towards para sa LPE. Not to discredit Jake's the Dog's abilities naman, maganda naman yung galaw din niya and he has had heroic moments, but Ryota, outside of Bimo and Aspect, also one of the more consistent players ng LPE. Even if he's having a tough game, he'll still try to make plays na parang, uy, gets ko naman yung ginagawa niya. Like, it didn't work in the past, but then the idea is there.
Na meron tayong mga consistent na manlalaro na ikukumpara natin, and these featured players will do all they can para hindi ma-GG. They can bring their clay game with the all-new master all-in-one clay wash. Ito ang sikreto ng mga gwapo. Ito ang dalawang manlalaro mula sa jungler role H2O and Aspect.
Napansin ko dito sa player comparison natin is the kill participation. Mas nag-group up early ang NXP Esports and compared to LPE. But MVP count talagang highlight din to si Aspect. Once nakakuha na agad siya ng magandang momentum para sa kanyang core player, isa siya sa mga heroes na talagang nag-respond kaagad sa aggressiveness ng kalaban. And they can take advantage of that kung tutusin. Since aggressive dito yung NXP, since kaya din mag-counterplay ng LPE, I think this will be a very intense fight.
Yeah.
Silipin natin ang aning laning prediction. Meron tayong mapa dyan. What's standing out to you the most?
Well, of course, the adjustment for NXP, putting Exhort in the non-turtle lane, going up against Jake the Dog. On one side, you have captain mentality, shot caller style, coming from the mid lane. Meanwhile, Jake the Dog, he's known more for the highlight plays or trying to go for the highlight plays. He can be the secondary carry for LPE. Contrasting yung playstyle nila, magkaiba, and it will make for a very interesting matchup doon.
Etong dalawang koponan nais umakyat sa ating standings and going back to their winning ways. NXP kontra LPE. Bakbaka na, Shoutcasters! Pasok!
Climbing out of the bottom will be the storyline of our second series for today. My name is Rob Luna. Kasama ko dito ang aking analyst, Butters.